Hey, what's up? It's Case with Everyday Masters. I wanted to make a video on manifestation because I consider myself a professional, a master at manifesting joy and happiness and an inner peace. Like that comes really easy for me. But manifesting financial abundance, that's a little bit trickier for me. And I'm still reprogramming myself and I'm still finding hidden beliefs that that compete with my new beliefs. So when you have competing beliefs, that doesn't work out well for the actual manifestation of things. So I was just talking to a buddy of mine. He's self-employed, and he's kind of down with what's going on in the economy and how his business is being crushed. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, just giving him advice on, the law of attraction. He knows what's going on. And then I start like going into, yeah, man, things just like slow down for me too. And I need to do this and I need to do this. And then he's like giving me advice. We both know the advice. It's easy to give advice. Sometimes it's a little bit more challenging to live the advice, to make the changes. And then when we got off the phone, I came across this manifestation rant by one of my favorite teachers. And so I went ahead and recorded it. And I recorded myself talking about this manifestation rant. So it's a little paraphrasing, but I hope you dig it. And I was thinking as I was editing this, I wasn't even going to put a video of me in it. I was just going to have my voice. And as I'm editing it, I'm always like playing with the frequencies. Like, well, I do it all the time anyway. I just can't stop. But I figured maybe while you're listening to this, maybe we'll just play with these frequencies together and see what happens. Now, for those that don't know what I'm talking about, hold your hands like this, spread your fingers out, palms facing palms, and just feel. Just feel for whatever. Just tell me what you feel. Okay, I'm gonna play this. I hope you guys dig this. Let's see. You ever noticed that every successful person, every happy person you've ever met or watched or read about always says the same thing? You have to follow your joy. You have to follow your passions. You have to act on what excites you. Now, this is all well and good, and it's a lovely, lovely thought. But the idea is not to leave it as a thought. The idea is to fully understand why this is so crucial, why following your passion is so critical in our lives. What we call the sensation of joy, love, excitement, and happiness is actually our physical body's translation of the vibratory energy that represents your true natural self. That feeling is your higher self saying, yes, do this now. That feeling of excitement is who you are. That frequency is who you are. So every time you're willing to act on the things which contain the highest degree of joy, the highest degree of excitement, the highest degree of passion, the highest degree of love, anytime you take action on any of those things that contain that energy, you are functioning like the compass needle that points unerringly north to your specific frequency, the frequency that was designed to allow you to create your life along the path of least resistance. That is why it is so important to act on the things that contain, at every given moment, without expectation and with full integrity in the highest amount of joy, you are staying most fully in alignment with your true self. And that will allow the synchronicity in your life to reflect back to you the idea of all the things that represent who you really are, and allow you to experience yourself as the true being you were created to be. You will then, through the action alone, begin to remember bit by bit, day by day, piece by piece, at whatever rate you're comfortable with, you will begin to remember who you are. You will no longer be fragmented, compartmentalized consciousness, but you are moving toward the idea of literally rejoining, remembering, recollecting yourself into who you actually are. And as you wake up to who you actually are, you will begin to understand, truly understand how creation works, the principles on which it is based. And you will see that even though you can make it very complex or very complicated, the fundamental mechanism of creating your reality is very, very simple. And all degrees of complication simply come from one thing and one thing only: a belief or a definition that is out of alignment with your true self. Now, the only way you can actually hold on to a belief or a definition of life, or a belief or a definition of creation that is out of alignment with your true self, if that belief is unconscious. As soon as you bring that belief that is out of alignment with your true self into consciousness realization, you will very quickly see one thing that is very important. All beliefs, all definitions that are out of alignment with your true self, once brought into conscious recognition, will immediately and automatically appear nonsensical, illogical. It will not fit with who you know yourself to be. No longer will it make sense for you to hold on to it. You will see that it belongs to someone else. You will see that you have bought into it. You have taken it upon yourself as your own, perhaps from your parents, perhaps from society, perhaps from your friends, perhaps from your loved ones. But nevertheless, as soon as you can actually shine the light of your true consciousness on a belief or a definition that is out of alignment with who you truly are, you will see that it makes no sense to hold on to it any longer. Now, if you do continue to hold on to it longer than that moment of recognition, then you can still approach it consciously and ask yourself the question, why? Why would I hold on to something I know is out of alignment and illogical and makes no sense for who I know I truly am? For when you begin asking those questions, you are truly in control of changing your reality and who you actually are. The idea being that if you do hold on to something you say you know doesn't serve you, then you must have created another belief, an unconscious belief, an unconscious reason for why it makes sense to do so. And so again, you can use the very same understanding to find out what that belief is, and keep doing that until you have rooted out all the unconscious beliefs and brought them into the light of consciousness, and allow the fundamental foundational beliefs that are out of alignment to drift away and float away and turn into smoke, which is all they are. Just smoke and mirrors. Your physical reality is just an illusion, but the experience of it is real, and that's all that's real, is your experience of it. But physical reality, that which you have surrounding you, seemingly is taking place within your consciousness. It is like a mirror. You all know that if you have a glass mirror and you see your reflection in it, and your reflection, the expression on your face in the reflection is frowning, you don't go over to the mirror and try to change the reflection into a smile. You don't manipulate the physical reality because it's only a reflection. There's nothing there. But you know the moment you actually decide to smile, the reflection has no choice but to smile back. All of the difficulty and all the complications and all the pain and all the suffering you have ever experienced has been from your attempt to manipulate the reflection instead of actually changing who you are. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. Now, for many people, it doesn't seem that simple, but that's all right. All that means is you have a belief that it's not that simple, but it's only a belief. This is what we're here to say. any degree of difficulty and pain and suffering that you've experienced is not because there is actual inherent difficulty built into creation. All that only comes from the perspective that is created by the belief systems within your unconscious mind. Difficulty is not the purview of creation. Creation is automatic. Manifestation is automatic. It's immediate. We all do it all the time. If we were not automatically and immediately manifesting something all the time, we wouldn't be having an experience in reality at all. So the point is, you don't have to learn how to manifest. You don't have to learn how to trust the idea. You don't have to learn how to do it faster. You're already doing it automatically as fast as you possibly can. The issue is what you are manifesting based on what you believe is possible. That's the issue, because you always believe something to be true, and that's what creates the manifestation you experience. So the question is, what are you believing is true? That's the only question that determines what you experience in your reality, because you're all born to be automatic creators, automatic manifestors. That's what it means when you say you were made in the image of God. You are co-creators. You are expressions that are co-creating. So the idea is you don't have to learn how to do that. You have to learn to trust, because you always trust that something is true. So again, it's not about learning how to trust learning, how to manifest learning, or how to do it faster. All those things are automatic. It always comes down to simply, what do I believe is true? So the idea is that when you have difficulty, when you have struggled making a change, it's because your motivational mechanism simply having upon it attached a belief that is not aligned with your true self. For example, you all have the same motivational mechanism. You all have the same motivational mechanism. There's only one. There are no exceptions. You will always, without fail, move away from what you believe to be more painful. That should tell you a lot. Because if you find yourself constantly choosing the thing you know empirically, intellectually is more painful than what you say you would rather choose, then the question is, why do I keep choosing something I know is more painful than what I really prefer? That's a really good question. Here's the answer. The only reason you would do that is there must be an unconscious belief attached to that thing you say you should be, what excites you, that for some reason is making that thing actually appear to be more painful than staying where you are. You've got to find out what belief you would have to buy into to make your joy seem more painful than simply staying where you are. No matter how painful it is, this is the mechanism. It works the same for everyone. For example, many people talk about the idea of wishing to attract wealth into their life physically. Yet at the same time, they may have an unconscious belief that if they do attract a certain amount of wealth, that they will somehow stand out in their society in a negative way. And they don't want to stand out in a negative way. And it's more important to them not to stand out in a negative way than it is to attract abundance. So as long as they have an unconscious belief that to be abundant will be to stand out in a negative way, and it's more important to them not to, they will always make sure they do everything in their power to never attract abundance until such time they get a handle, a conscious recognition of the idea that they have that belief attached to their mechanism of motivation. But once they do, they will see it makes no sense. They will see, I don't have to believe that. That doesn't belong to me. Maybe it came from my mother. Maybe it came from my father. Maybe it was the belief that they were brought up with Maybe that was the belief that they were brought up with, and they imported it to me telepathically while raising me. But I now see that it makes no sense. Of course, I can be abundant. Of course, I can be a nice person at the same time. Of course, those things can go together. So it doesn't make sense any longer to assume that you cannot be abundant or somehow I will be rendered into a negative personality. That is what I'm talking about. Identifying the belief will show you it's illogical and nonsensical. And once you identify it, the very act of identifying it releases you from it because you have to redefine things in a manner that works for you. For example, many of you define the idea of a habit or a pattern as something that's difficult to change. That's just the definition from our perspective. Here's a new definition. A habit is something you do that you don't know you're doing. And once you know you're doing it, if you do it again, it's not a habit, it's a choice. So once you understand it's not a habit anymore and it's a choice, you are now empowered to do something about changing it. Whereas if you just assign it to the idea that it's still habitual, you have no power over it because it's still unconscious. But once you know it's a choice, then you can ask yourself the fundamental question: what would I have to believe is true about my relationship to this thing in order to believe that way, to feel this way? Once you start exploring that, once you start examining that, you will find great clarity coming to you through the synchronicity in your life. So allow yourself the opportunity to recognize that you can change the definition of things in a manner that works for you, because all things have the ability to perform double duty. Nothing in life has a built-in meaning. I know this will sound a little funny, but the truth of it is that life is meaningless. And what I mean by that is there is no automatic built-in meaning to anything. If you want to put it another way, you could say the meaning of life is for you to give it meaning. But the meaning you give it is ultimately determined by what you get out of it. The effects you get out of it is totally based on how you define your reality. This is simply what you have already recognized as the law of attraction. What you put out is what you get back. It's as simple as that. It's always about how you define your world, your reality, and your relationship to it. That's all it is. Yes, it's that simple. You don't have to believe it's that simple. That's up to you. That's your choice. If you want to make it very complicated, that's your choice. That's your path. And if you want to do that, our blessings to you. However, we are here to simply let you know that it doesn't have to be that way, and it is completely within your power to determine what you will experience in every facet, in every aspect of your life. Dude, I love that. And you know what? To me, if you listen to that and you didn't get it on how you can change your life and how you can uncover these unconscious beliefs that we have that are conflicting with our new beliefs, which turn into, dude, nothing's going to manifest, but like, it's not going to work. So I love that. And if you didn't understand that, man, listen to that again, because there are some nuggets in there. So, okay, man, I hope you guys are doing great. I really want to make a video every week, but time's too fast, man. It seems like every day I'm like, oh wow, that'd be a really cool video to make. I should probably just record that real quick and just put that out. And then I'll be like, yeah, but I think I made a video on that like 2.5 years ago. So no, I'm not gonna make that again. Like, isn't that stupid? Like, that is not smart. Like 2.5 years ago, dude. No, like you gotta keep saying you gotta make a video. So I don't know. Hopefully I'll make some more videos. Okay, man. I love you guys. And if I don't make another video before Christmas, I hope you guys have a great holidays And yeah, okay. Peace.
Surfing on a wave of good feelings. Well, it's just another Friday in paradise. So bring your A game, cause you know this party won't stop. We could never run out of time, sipping strawberry lime.